Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, and I have no idea what the hell just happened there. All right, you're hearing wobbling sounds, and there you go. Well, I hope everybody can hear me okay. All right, it's been one hell of a week. Already in the chat, we have friend of the channel, D. Penzak. All right. Just lost my train of thought. All right. Here's the situation for people who are not aware. My laptop is down, and I am doing my shows tonight over my phone. But from what I understood from the test run that I did earlier in the week, everybody can see and hear me okay. So we're going to go on with the show. It's just not going to be done in a way that I would ordinarily prefer. And hello to Big Out Presents. Okay. Like I said, I had some issues behind the scenes, and I just want to let everybody know, because I'm going to be talking about some heavy things tonight. I want everybody to know up front, I am okay. Mentally and physically, I am okay. My laptop, not so much, but my phone appears to be working enough for me to be able to do this show. So that's what I'm going to do. Big Al says, wouldn't be the only one to phone it in. No, I'm sure I wouldn't. All right. Now, a lot of the other channels chose to talk about Rachel Zegler or Bob Iger, and that's perfectly fine. I had considered pretty much doing the same thing. But then I thought, what would I be telling you that you didn't already know? What was new that I could bring to the table that other channels hadn't already done? So I decided to do as the title says, and to take a different path. Public speaking is not something that's easy for me, as you've noticed. Now, when I'm having a conversation one-on-one with someone here, out there in the real world, when I'm at work, I can carry on a conversation pretty well. But it seems that when I come on here, I kind of lock jaw a little bit, or maybe my mouth is moving faster than my brain, who knows? And there's a lot of, and ums and ahs, and I go back and I listen to videos, and I don't like listening to myself. And I've been on some good shows with some great people, but in particular, I don't like listening to myself. And I thought, okay, instead of talking about the obvious, and as D. Penzak says in the chat, do we really expect Disney to improve? I could do something that wasn't just, complaining about Disney or complaining about, you know, some narcissistic Hollywood freaking actress. Okay? I mean, who wants to talk about that all day? And there are channels that can do it much better than I, but I've decided that I'm not going to. I'm not going to see the movie. I'm not going to watch anything this woman's in, because why should I? She's already said she doesn't want us. And hello, JPRPH1. It's good to see you. But I would like to thank Rachel Zegler for one thing. For at least being honest with us and telling us what kind of movie this is going to be. All right, now, since she and Peter Dinklage have apparently rewritten Snow White into their own twisted image, you know, I don't feel like this is anything we need to see or talk about. Now, going back to what I was saying earlier, that public speaking doesn't always come easily to me. And I really do want to appreciate all of you that have stuck by me and have remained subscribed and who show up every week for these shows. Now, I understand my shows aren't the best on YouTube. What do I really bring to the table that's different from what anybody else does? I don't know. I just like to think that I get told the same news that you do, and that I put my own little spin on it and kind of give my own opinion. And the fact that all of you encourage me in the chats, in the comment sections, that keeps me going. Because things aren't always easy. I understand what it's like to be in a room full of people and yet still feel alone. When someone says to me, I love you, and my question is why? I understand what it's like to have that little voice in your head that says, hey, you know what you can do? You can self-delete. It would be so easy. Just do it. I don't, and I don't want to, and I'm not planning to, but I understand what it's like when someone says that they have that voice in their head that tells them to do that. I understand. I have come to understand over the last couple of years what depression is. It's not something that I ever understood before, but in the last couple of years especially, I've come to understand it and look at it and be face to face with it. Now, I have gotten to a point where if some narcissistic Hollywood fucking actress says, you know what? If you don't like my movie, you're a sexist. I don't want you to see it. I don't get mad. I just say fine. What's the point of getting upset. Morgan Freeman's last line in Seven always stuck with me, and it's an Ernest Hemingway quote, where he says, "The world is a beautiful place that's worth fighting for." And then he says, "I agree with the second part." And that's kind of where I am right now. This isn't the country I grew up in. This isn't the world I grew up in. I don't recognize it any longer. But there's one thing that I've learned here during my time on YouTube is I'm not the only one. I'm not alone out there. It's not just me. I am not the defective. It's time for me to choose that different path, to take it to the next level, to not allow people to keep me at the kids' table. To say to anyone who is willing to listen that just because I don't like a movie or a TV show, that doesn't make me an ist or a phobe. We become slaves to this sort of thing. We don't need Hollywood. Why? We have 100 years of entertainment to fall back on. These Gen Zers, they don't get to push us around. Why? Because they need to learn to respect their elders. Because if they don't, they're going to start seeing the back of our hand. I can tell that voice in my head. That tells me that there are a million things in this house that I can use to self-delete. Or that little voice that tells me, just walk out in front of that car. I choose not to listen to it. I choose not to keep that elitist attitude. Now I say, at the end of every show, take care, stay strong, because this is how we win. I am not just saying that to you. I'm also saying that to me. Because no one ever said life was easy. We didn't come with an instruction manual. There's crime in the streets. We have cops who are either afraid to do their job or are so fucking hamstrung that they can't do their job. So they don't. Because they're afraid they'll get sued. They're afraid they will go to jail, or they're just very simply ordered not to. And that's why you have, the crime in the bigger cities that we have. That you can go on the news to see, or at least you used to, that you can go on any news channel here on YouTube and see. And part of it is entitlement. Part of it is not being raised any better. When I was a kid, if you went to a store and you vandalized the place or you stole something, there were consequences for that. Now there are no consequences. And it's all part of this nihilistic, defeatist attitude that I'm seeing. That I am trying so hard not to drown in. We have an economy that is in the dumper. And it's funny how it always seems to be in the dumper when a certain political party is in charge. Now, I don't want to get too political here, but I think you know what I mean. Now, to be honest with you, as I always said I would, politically, I am a man without a country right now. There is one party that I would never vote for in a million years. And then there's the other party who does claim to speak for me, and used to, that has also pushed me away through their cowardice, through their uselessness. I am 50 years old. A lot of the people who are up there in Washington have been there since before I was born. And what have they done? From either party, what have they done? Nothing. Everything has only gotten worse. And again, this feeds into this defeatist, nihilistic attitude that I am trying my best to avoid, that I am now seeing an entire generation wallow in. I'm the victim, or I'm a precious snowflake and you have to listen to me. Because it's all about me. Me. Weird, isn't it? Grow a spawn. For God's sake. Pretty soon these people are going to be in charge. I find that frightening. My generation took it too easy on our kids. That's clear. So I'm not omitting us in this. To my fellow Gen Xers, keep an eye on your kids. Because I'm seeing the ones who are allowed to speak right now, and I'm fucking unimpressed. Maybe they need somebody to write all this down for them. Oh, oops. Guess that's out. Where's Art Bell when we need him? Where's Alan Berg when we need him? Oh, we lost them. Mighty careless of us, I think. It's not easy seeing it. And you do want to take a permanent vacation from it all. But you don't do it. I got some reasons why I don't do it. The main one is I fucking love you guys, and I love doing these kind of shows. And I love seeing you in the chats. That's one thing that's kept me going. I'm not going anywhere because there are some things that I want to do. And I haven't done them yet. Yeah, that's something that I want to do, is just, dude, make up a bucket list. Why not? I'm not going to last forever. JJ didn't last forever. Son of a Red Shirt didn't last forever. They Call Me Nobody didn't last forever. My dad didn't last. And that's another thing, because if I chose to listen to that little voice in my head, I know every single fucking one of those guys would be pissed. So that's one thing. You know, I know there would be people who would be, the son of a bitch, how dare he, you know? And those are the people that I don't want to let down. I do not want to let any of you down in that way. So that's another reason. And thank you, JPRPH1. And hello to Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips. Now, I know I'm getting older. And I'm probably closer to the ending of things than I am to the beginning. And that thought has crossed my mind of late. If I last just one day longer than my father did, I would consider all the time after that borrowed time. Now, I don't know if there's anything after this. I have never been a really religious person. Now, I want to make one thing clear, and hello, Lester San Jose. I want to make one thing clear, that by my saying that I am not really a religious person does not mean that I am anti-religion. If you believe that there is an all-knowing, all-seeing, all-powerful being that is looking out for us, if you believe that there's a light at the end of this tunnel, then please, by all means, live that way. If that's what gets you through the day, then I am glad that you found it, and by all means, live that way. And I'm not saying that means you have to read out of the Bible every day, or that you necessarily have to go to church. There are other ways. You know what? There was a YouTuber earlier who was saying that their church is outside. The church was the congregation, the people who chose to come together on that day. That made the church. The building doesn't make the church. The people do. I think that's great, man. I really do. Go off, meet in a tent, have a barbecue. Please do. And hello to Connie Cleary. Andy Penzak is absolutely right. It's all about balance. The trick is finding it and making it work for you. Exactly. Now, I am not, as I said, I am not anti-religion. I am all for it. As long as you don't let it run your life, I think you're absolutely fine. However, I've seen some pretty dark shit. And I cannot live my life personally believing that there's an angel standing over my head. Maybe there is, and I'm just not seeing it. I could be wrong. That's what I'm saying here, is I could be wrong. But if there isn't, I'm not going to cry over that either. And it's something I'm never going to know until the end anyway. And you know what? I'm not going to do anything stupid to rush that along. What did they say in the Green Mile? We each owe a death. There are no exceptions. if there's God and angels or the four horsemen, if I hear this sound, you know, then I'll know they're coming for me. But, until that time, I think I still have some life to live. Even if there's still that voice in my head even now that says that there isn't. Even when Hollywood and the politicians tell us to fuck off, we'll still be here. And that can't be taken away. Now, I am currently in a line of work that I've been doing for decades. I don't like it very much. It's hard work with very little to show for it, and it does something to you physically after a while, too. And once again, I want to take that different path. I want to be my own boss. I don't want to have to answer to anyone. I want to live my life without feeling like I have to ask permission to do it. And you know what? I don't think any of you should either. Walk that different path. Take charge of your life. I want you to stay strong because this is how we win. This is why I say it at the end of every show. And hello to Aged Boomer. In about 25 minutes, Aged Boomer over on his channel will be hosting Geeky Geezers with Troy Pacelli. I will be in the chat for that program. After that will be at the other side of midnight, where we get to chill. It's not going to be as heavy as this show has been. I want this to be the takeaway. I want you all to remember that your life is your own. If you are not happy where you are in life, then you walk that different path. If you find it in religion, if you find it here on YouTube, then you take that path. You do not let the narcissists win. You do not let those who are the true racists and homophobes win. You find what makes you happy in life. And you stick to that. Do not get dragged down into this nihilistic bullshit. Because if you do, that little voice that I'm talking about, that little voice wins. Do not let them win. This is a fellowship. This fellowship sticks together. That's how we win. Don't go see Snow White. You don't have to. Where's it written you have to? Don't listen to these narcissistic fucking actors. Don't vote for these politicians who have been in office 50, 60 years and not done a damn thing. Because they are only out for themselves. They want to line their pockets with your money, your hard-earned money. That, as I said earlier, there's not a whole lot of to go around. I don't listen to that voice in my head because I can still see that little glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel. I still think there's a way out. That's what I equate it to. We have been forced to march through a very dark tunnel. And we lost some people along the way. Some people I'm really going to miss. So in their name, I say we go on. Those people who want to leave us behind, leave them back there alone in their fucking clown world. I still see a little glimmer of light at the end of that tunnel, and I'm going to walk to that light. Because I think there's still something to live for. I'm seeing it in the chat right now. And that's good enough for me. They will lie to you. I never will. I'm going to walk that different path. And I'm going to live my life, and I'm going to be happy, and I'm not going to be dragged down into this muck. I'm going to save what's left of my soul. I'm going to live whatever life I have left. And I hope you'll all be there with me. Because I fucking love you guys, and this is why I do it. I don't know how to be anything other than myself. I don't know how to be anything other than honest. And I know I'm rambling on right now. And I'm not the best speaker to be on YouTube. And there are other channels you could be watching. But you're not. You're here with me. And I will never be able to express just how much you've all come to mean to me over these last couple of years here on YouTube. All right. We've come to that part of the show. The What's on My Shelf segment, which I am considering turning into a regular weekly broadcast. And so I have a couple of things here to show you. And let me see the chat. We're all here with you. Thank you. Boomer says we need to find new ways to entertain ourselves. We do. This is something else that I want to bring up to you right now before we move on with the next segment. Go out there, create. Even if it's something that maybe other people won't see. Go for it. I've written 2 screenplays. They're probably not good, you know, but I do it. I choose to create. The deleted scene styles why we've been here for 27 episodes, and hopefully they'll be here for 27 more. I want to say hello to Disney Sheepherder. Howdy and hail, smashing that like button. I'll be hanging out. Outstanding. Connie Cleary says, a friend of mine from another channel, he would say we are a family. Indeed. All right, now on to the On My Shelf segment. All right, I hope everyone can see me okay. I have my iPhone up here on this new stand that I bought, so I am now hands-free to actually do the show in a situation such as this. Now, it was my understanding, like I said from an earlier show, that everybody can see and hear me better on my phone than they could on my laptop. So, okay. All right, now, coming up very soon on this upcoming episode of Toxic Tuesday over on not Aged Boomers channel, sorry, over on 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser for this week's episode of Toxic Tuesday. I am going to be joining the panel, and we are going to be watching The Equalizer, starring Denzel Washington. which is a remake of this program. This is the original Equalizer, starring Edward Woodward, that ran on CBS back in the day for, I think, about 5 seasons, maybe 6. And the Denzel Washington movies changed some things, sure, but what made the Equalizer series good can be found in the films. Now, I do have the first 2 Equalizer movies on Blu-ray. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to find them. I mislaid them somewhere. I'll probably find them 5 minutes after the show's over and want to kick myself. But for those of you who maybe don't recall the original show, it is out on DVD. So go and seek it out and kind of get the origin of where the Equalizer came from. So that's my video pick of the week. You look good coming over clearly. Okay, good. Honestly, I would say yes to that, based on what I've been seeing. Toxic Tuesday, I like it. Yes, go over. If you are not subbed to 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser, now is the time. Great content. He talks about movies, music, comic books, and he knows his shit. And he's a good guy to boot. So if you're not yet subscribed to his channel, now is the perfect time to go over and do it. And if I have any of my wrenches are in the chat, go to Nick Weiser's channel really quick, get the link, and post it in the chat, please. I saw that show weekly as it aired. My mom loved it. Yeah, I grew up watching that. I remember liking it a lot. It's very good. Yeah. And now that I have season 2, I can start watching it again. Great series, indeed. All right, now, earlier in the show, I obliquely mentioned Ernest Hemingway. And I have a book of his short stories. This is kind of my booktuber segment. In honor of Criminali, who at the end of his videos pulls a book off of his shelf and talks about it momentarily. And this is a compilation of Ernest Hemingway short stories that I bought some time back at Target, before Target went to shit. So, Ernest Hemingway, go out, find him, read his books. And one other one that I pulled earlier. This is this book is a sequel, an in-canon sequel to Buckaroo Banzai. So for those of you who like the Buckaroo Banzai movie and are upset that we never got a sequel, this book is the sequel. It's called Buckaroo Banzai Against the World Crime League. A Compendium of Evils. Yeah. This was the story that was supposed to be the sequel. And we finally got it in book form. So check that out. And I see that is the link for the next Toxic Tuesday over on Nick Weiser's channel that I'm going to be appearing on. And also, go to his channel or go to my playlist page and see the episode from a couple of weeks ago where we were talking about Hard Target. I appeared on that show. The funniest panel that I have ever been on. So go and check that show out. Thanking each other in the chat. That's what I want to see. All right. So to close out the show, I want to remind everyone that in about 7 minutes at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, our friend Aged Boomer will be hosting Geeky Geezers along with Troy Pacelli. Netters Network will be in the chat. So will I. It's going to be a great show. So go over and check that out. And after Geeky Geezers at 12:05 a.m. Eastern, 11:05 Central, will be The Other Side of Midnight. I don't have any guests lined up yet, but in the next couple of hours, I'm going to be sending out the StreamYard link. And we'll see who stops by. And hopefully we'll see everyone here in the chat. I want to remind everyone that your life is yours. There are people who think that you are beneath them and that they can order you around. And they can't. They hold no moral authority over you. And I want you to remember that. That little voice that you might be hearing in your head that wants to bring you down has no authority over you. Your life is yours. Walk that different path. Do not let the narcissists, the haters, bring you down with their nihilistic attitudes. This is your world. This is your life. Cut out everything that doesn't make you happy. Live your life. Set goals. I have goals. I've mentioned a couple of them tonight. Sit down, make a list. And then start checking off that list. Those people who hate you, they like to make lists. Turn that shit back on them. Make your own list. What do you want out of life? What makes you happy in life? And then you implement that list. Your life is yours. Live it. And take my final words of every show to heart. Because it's not just a message for you, it's also a message for me. From HQ, take care, stay strong, because this is how we win.